All right, welcome back. This is chapter 5, video number 16. We're going to carry on with the card picker. And again, the card picker and how it works and behaves is to simply just randomly pick actually just a number. That's all this program is going to do. So here we'll run it. And when I click pick a random number, all it's doing is picking a random number between 1 and 52, which is 52 cards in a regular playing deck of cards. So this would pick the 50th card. Click it again, that's 30, 23, and so on. So every time I click it, it's going to pick a number between 1 and 52. And so we could keep clicking this until the 52nd card comes up, but that could take a while. We don't know how long that would be. Oh, it was there. I just went past it. So that's the behavior of that program. So, and we're going to take that random number that the computer is going to generate, and we basically just put it into this control right here, which is called, it's an output control, which is a label. What's it called here? It's called the random label, but probably should be called label random card picker or something like that. Probably a better name, but random label is where it's going to be displayed. Now, to do this, when we click the pick random, we want it to pick the random number. So to do that, I'm going to declare a regular integer value, because we're only dealing with integer value, whole numbers between 1 and 52. So integer would be a good data type for that particular selection. And then sort of the heart of how this works is we're going to use a class called random, and we're going to basically create that a variable in a sense. So this statement right here is declaring, and this statement over here is assigning, and it's also creating basically an instance of an object. So we're creating a new instance of a random number object that we're going to call rand. So a lot going on in this statement right here. This is actually called creating an instance of a random number variable, I guess you might call this here. So rand now is actually set up in the computer and holds and retains all the capabilities that the random class has. So we can use this now and access all those members of the random class. Now to do that, we want to calculate a number. So how do we calculate a number? Well, rand is our new instance of our object, so that's what we want to use. And we're going to use a method here called let's get random and pick the next random number. And I put in 52. And the reason that I put in 52 is that's the scope of how high I want to go. But the problem is, if I just use 52, it actually picks numbers from 0 to 51, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to push everything up by adding a 1 to this. So we're actually going to do a bit of a calculation here by doing that. So we're going to basically take that 0, we're going to move it up to a 1, 51, and move it up 1 to 52. So now what's going to happen is going to pick a number between 1 and 52, and it assigns that to the variable here called number. And from there, all we have to do is output it. So we've got some random number. Of course, it's a number. We cannot output until that both sides of this are equal. And then we want, of course, we're going to put something into an output. It has to be text, which is a string. So we're going to take the number and formulate it into a string and output the results. All right, so that's basically how it works. If we were to do a quick debug on this, and I was to run that and click random, let's go in here, creates a variable, and it creates an instance here called rand, and then the random number that's going to pick, it picked 11. So this generated 10. 10 plus 1 was 11, so that became 11, and then takes 11, converts it into a string, and outputs the result, and we get 11, and that's how it works. So that's how the basics of a random number generator works in C#. And we'll be using that a lot. And really the secret there is by creating an instance of a random number object and then using that and then accessing all these different methods and members of this new class that we just created, this new object that we just created right here. All right, so that's pretty much it for the card picker, and we'll see you guys in the next video.